Hello everybody, and this is Justin Pontarelli, and I don't know if you guys saw my Halloween episode last year, but these are my girls again. This is, if they'll stay still, this is Rose right here, over there, and this one here is Ruth, and Rose is up the other, both climbing me now, to figure out what I'm doing. Oops, sorry. And yeah, this is non-rehearsed. This is why I'm having a hard time with this. But it's feeding time, and I wanted to show off probably what, for me, was the first and only and probably simplest rat trick I've ever taught these guys. They're supposed to be, and by they I mean rats in general, are supposed to be ridiculously smart like cats and dogs and can learn tricks. And there's many other better rat trainer people on YouTube that know how to do this kind of stuff. Well, I'll just show you my trick. And since it's feeding time anyway, they're looking for their food. They know it's food time. I'll just show you the trick that they know. Here we go. The star of the show, other than the rats. The plain ordinary cardboard tube. Okay. And what's going to happen is I'm going to plop this baby down on the bed. And one at a time, these girls will go through the tube and receive the reward of their food. And then one of the girls will get separated and put over here because one of the rats eats really slowly and needs to be sheltered and whatnot. And get back over here. Here we go. Let's just do it. They're hungry. And there's Rose first, who gets her treat. And now Ruth is trying to figure out how to get in now. She's okay. She'll figure it out. There she goes. Good girl. Oh, okay. And there's our food reward. And here's the food. Oh, she knows now too. She's getting the hang of this too. She knows where she has to go. Good girl. Okay. And her sister's gonna go in her tank. One moment, guys. Oopsie. There she goes. Yeah, so, sorry for the camera movements. Didn't exactly have this planned out. Got my space heater running. It's still a little chilly here in New York. And by New York, I mean upstate New York. And so, yeah, so again, reason for this, for the tissue paper, obviously, is because she'll make a mess. And this is my bed, so, and just in case she has to leak a little too, I don't want it getting wet. So she eats like really slow. I don't know how many of you guys are watching at home have ever seen a rat eat before, especially a domesticated rat. Some of them eat like, dogs, like super fast. Like they figure it's on fire, and if they don't eat the food like right away, it's gonna disintegrate or something. I don't know, but Ruth figures, what's the rush? I don't know. Like, what's the rush? She's taking her jolly time. You can tell she doesn't really mind when I do this. She knows I'm not going to take it from her. So this shows you how socialized rats are, domesticated rats, in terms of their gentleness level. Like, yeah, technically, if I try to take it away from her, she might put up a little bit of a struggle. But typically, she's not going to bite me. She'll just hang on for dear life, and eventually she'll let me have it. But she knows I'm not going to do that because, I don't know, reasons, I guess. But so she'll sit there and eat her food really slowly. And what makes it worse is Ruth here has, I guess for right now, either a faster metabolism or just a harder time gaining weight. So what I do before I feed each of them is I kind of weigh them in my hands to see who needs how much food. And you don't want to feed them too much, just like a dog or a cat. And you don't want to feed them too little. So right now they're at a really good weight. But typically Ruth here ends up getting more food than her sister Rose. And because Rose eats like really fast and this one eats really slow, this one ends up getting protected on my bed. And her sister goes off to her tank to eat. And yeah, it's a tank. I've been told before I really need a proper cage by other people that own rats. And it's true, I probably do. But in my current situation, I cannot afford it. And neither can my family members. So it is what it is. You know, I clean it as often as possible. I get them out as often as possible. But hey, you know what? Here we are. So I just figured anyone who wanted to see a potential follow-up to the Halloween episode, this is it. So I hope you enjoyed the stupid rat trick of the rats going through the tube. In case you're wondering how that's accomplished, it's really simple. All you do is you take them when they're babies, and one at a time. Don't do it, you know. You want this like to be like an individual training exercise. So you take your tube and you put that little piece of food that she's munching on inside the tube, and you do this when they need to eat. Otherwise, what's the motivation? Not too much, right? And they'll get the idea that in order to get the food, they have to go inside the tube. Well, when they're finally inside the tube, starting to go after the food, all you got to do is tip the tube so that the food falls out. And of course, the rat will naturally decide, since I'm already in here, I'll just go the rest of the way through and grab the food, and that's the reward for completing the trick. Repeat this enough times, and you can eventually plop that tube anywhere you want to, and they'll simply go through it because they expect food. And not to disappoint them, and they've been rewarded. And this has been a Justin Pontarelli production. Yeah, silly rat tricks, or a silly rat trick, and I guess a potential follow-up to my Halloween episode. If you haven't seen it, scroll back through my videos. You'll find it. I forgot what I did, but the episode starred my rats. I don't typically show them off to anyone because, I don't know. I still don't see them as a popular pet, but well, I'll show you my appeal. Well, my appeal with them initially was because I learned about rats a long time ago when I was like in my young teens in a National Geographic magazine for kids. And she's looking the crumbs. See, this is what she does in her tank too. She'll look at the crumbs and then she just puts her food down. Meanwhile, her sister will be finishing shortly and then come out to molest her for the food, and they might fight too. I don't want that to happen, so yeah, so I'm kind of babying her, but hey, she's my baby, I guess. They're smart, they're gentle, they don't bite. You look at her, I'm like right near her face, right near her food, and she's not doing anything about it. I could literally pick her up, she won't care. I can do this, you know. And the females are very clean. The males kind of do tend to mark themselves. And yeah, there's probably better ways to keep them even more clean, but female rats in particular are very clean. I mean, any and all domesticated rats will clean themselves like multiple times a day, just like cats basically. And yeah, and as long as you stay on top of their tank or cage maintenance, they'll never smell really. And unlike dogs or cats who need like other maintenance and other work, these guys are simple. The only thing that initially turned me off when I was a kid was this thing here. when you look at it and it's like, okay, I know it's a tail, but where's the fur? And what does it feel like? So to get over my fear, I had to touch the tail, right? And it's not as weird as you might expect. But, I mean, there are small hairs on it. But compared to this feeling of the fur, this is obviously very strange. But to get around it, don't look at it. And typically, you know, the tail just kind of hangs off off the side of your arm anyway when you're holding them. And a lot of these times, these guys just like to perch on your shoulders. So the tail kind of just hangs down on your clothes anyway, so you never really feel it. Yeah, so there's a way around that. In any event, yeah. The National Geographic magazine for kids said they're smart, they're clean, no odor, and of course they're pocket pets. They're relatively low maintenance. Sorry guys, I'm almost out of frame there. I should say she's out of frame almost. And they don't cost a lot, just a simple bag of food. Let me just cover my screen for a moment. Yeah, it's probably not the best stuff. Again, I'm on a budget, or I should say technically my family's on a budget. And because of my disability, I can't work. So this is what they're getting. Okay. But it's a simple bag of food. And the price is right. And this bag of food here will hold them for about, well, I want to say maybe, I don't know, 2 months. And we're talking, what kind of animals can you feed for $4 a month? Not many, right? Not many. And typically, the initial investment on a pet rat, other than its food, a water bottle, maybe some toys, and the cage, I mean, that's the biggest initial investment. The rat itself is only around $5, well, depending where you go to buy one. You can probably get lab rats, you know, the binos for like cheap. This one here, I think she was maybe 6, 7, 8. I mean, the prices went up since I was a kid. When I was a kid, she would have cost like $3 to $4. That's it. Anyway, her sister's done eating now. Let me just quickly demonstrate that. There she is. She knows I'm here. Back to drinking water. For now, she knows she's bathing. See? So, there she goes. So Ruth is done eating. And at this point, she would be molesting Ruth here, trying to steal her food, and maybe even starting a fight. Now I want to avoid that, so this is what has to happen after feeding time. So yeah, awesome pets. I've had pet rats since I was like in my early teens. And here I am now, almost 40 years old, and I don't want to be without one ever. My sister has a dog. I love the dog, don't get me wrong. But that dog's a lot of work. These guys, not so much. You know? Yeah, there's downsides. If they're not fed properly, they can be susceptible to tumors and genetic defects, stuff like that. If you don't clean their environment often enough, they can get upper respiratory infection, which can be pretty bad. But a well-maintained, healthy rat. I had one female who lived for about 4 years, which was pretty good, considering that according to one story, the longest lived rat. Let me just give you guys that information real quick. And this comes from a story that supposedly was verified by Guinness. The oldest, and I'm sorry for the view or the zoom, it's not working really well on my thing here. The oldest domesticated rat on record was Rodney. And he lived to be about 7 years and 4 months old. I'm not sure if that was his actual picture. They say Rodney was actually an albino lab rat. So who knows, but yeah. These guys, if I'm lucky, will probably live past 3, hopefully to 4, but who knows. So yeah, if you like pet rats, give this video a thumbs up. If you don't like pet rats, find another video. If anyone wants to donate me a nice regular sized actual wire tank, as opposed to my, well, it's about a 2 foot by, I'll just show you real quick. I don't feel bad showing you guys this because, you know what, I didn't know when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had no idea that this was not okay. I had no idea. The book didn't say, okay? Keep in mind, this is on top of a standard size bookcase. You can get a good scope of how big it is by looking at my collection of movies. Got some kids stuff, some more adult stuff, like American Pie, classics like The Love Bug, that's the original Star Trek, some batteries, a highlighter, sorry, a permanent marker. Yep. I like The Secret of Nim, So Sue Me, War of the Worlds, scared the piss out of me. Princess Bride, classic. Gone with the Wind, classic. And that is actually not Pokemon. This contains a copy of the BFG, the giant, you know, the cartoon giant thing. And more classics down there, The Never-Ending Story. Just some stuff that I've had over the years. There's more stuff in here too. So we got a standard sized bookcase, more or less, with their tank on top. And there's some toys they have, or it was a toy, it was like a willow ball for them to chew on. They've destroyed it, I need to get them a new one. There's their little hut box thing, I don't know, Kleenex box to hide inside of. Their little nesting area. And I use these to make sure they can't push open the top and get out and hurt themselves. But yeah, if anyone watches this and says, that's not cool, dude, you can't keep those rats inside that thing, plenty of people would agree with you. And again, in my defense, I'll only say this. I was a kid, I didn't know. I had limited funds. And ever since I found out, I still have limited funds today. So if you want to send me something new that's relatively the same length and width as a standard bookcase, that's cool with me. Although I need to figure out another way to store my videos and stuff. But guys, really though, they're healthy. They're fine. It's just the 2 of them, okay? I get them out as often as I can, feed them, water them, clean their tank. They're in great shape, okay? And see this? She's almost finally done with her food. Hurry up, you. Hurry up. Hurry up, Ruth. Hurry up. Ruth says, yeah, I'm hurrying, she says. And guys, don't know what inspired me to make this video. I just figured, hey, it might make a fun video. Got 2 minutes left on my recording because my phone has limited storage. So that's it, guys. Again, if you like rats, leave me a like if you would. That'd be cool. Let me know you watched it. You know, if you don't like it, that's okay. Leave me some constructive criticism down below. If you don't like rat videos, tell me. I'll stop. I'll stop making them. If you want to see more, let me know. I'd love to make more of these too. Like I said, this is not a one-hit pony channel. I want to do this like based upon a variety of my things that I like to do in my life, not just one thing. You know, I like to play video games. I'm a Christian. I own rats. So, you know, hey, like for example, here's my little I think it's World War II Bible. Look at that. By special. Well, anyway. If you can read it, I'm not sure if you can read it or not because I can't. Anyway, guys. That's all the time we got, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it so much. Ruth, tell them how much you appreciate it. Oh. She appreciates it too. Can't you tell? Yeah. Guys, this has been Ruth Rose. That's Rose going crazy. Ruth Rose and Justin signing off and saying, guys, until next time, thank you for watching. Leave any constructive criticism and or a like below. That's about it. Bye, everybody.